So before I go out and do any practice, just a quick talk over what I've been doing over the past couple of days. I've had like a day rest after the tournament at Ealing Golf Club. Me and Graham played the pairs event there on the TP Tour. We shot 7 over as a pair. It was just one of those days where we kept on bogeying the same holes as each other. And the greens were running at 12.3, so the putting was just so hard. By far and away the quickest greens I'd putted up. Fantastic. Hello, James.
I've got an idea.
You've got an idea, have you?
It's bad.
I'm actually just in the middle of filming my daily vlog. So
No, well, don't put me in it.
I won't. Do you want to say hello to all the
All of the 10 people watching. Latte, have a latte.
So yeah, it was just one of those days. I think we had one hole where we made different scores, and the rest of the time we were just making pars or with bogey, and it was very, very frustrating. We weren't sort of like backing each other up. It's really where what I struggled with the most was the putting. The greens were running at 12.3 on the stimp. I was going to say on the Richter scale there. Where is my brain? Greens were running 12.3 on the Richter scale, which is the quickest I've ever putted on, just ever. And I'm not used to it, and they were firm. Chipping around the greens was very, very tough. I hit quite a few bad approach shots. Not as bad as they have been, but I'd leave myself in a position where I had a downhill chip. It was very hard not to leave yourself in a position where you had a downhill chip if you missed a green. And you'd be literally landing it on the apron to even get it to stop near the hole. And I'm just not used to that. At East Devon Golf Club, 2 or 3 days leading up to it, I was practicing just downhill putts on the putting green, which were quick, but still not as quick as the flat putts on these greens. It's just, my short putting was good because the greens were true, inside 5 foot, I didn't miss anything. It was just, the lag putting, anything outside of sort of 15 feet, I was just focusing on 2 putting. I couldn't visualise the ball going in at a pace which would be 6 inches past if it missed. I couldn't see the ball going in the hole, basically. It was just one of those weeks, but it was really enjoyable. I had a good interview there with the TP Tour, which is my first interview on a camera without me filming myself, which is actually very strange having someone else there filming. So I've never had that before, but it was good. That was a new experience. Tee shots over the first 9 holes were a lot better. I hit, I think I hit like 6 out of 8 fairways or something to start with. I'm just watching US Open. Tiger had a putt to, he's just made double to go 10 over. So yeah, my long game felt a little bit better, but then just the same pattern as the majority of the times when I go to a tournament. Over a period of the round, my tee shots, I get like the odd stray one. It's normally the flare right, which is a big flare right, which can get me in a lot of trouble. Luckily, it didn't get me in too much trouble while I was there. But yeah, the main thing I struggled with was putting and chipping. I had 36 putts altogether. I hit 11 greens in regulation and hit 7 out of 13 fairways. So long game wasn't horrifically bad, but just chipping and putting, I couldn't make up and down to save my life. I think I made 1 out of 6 up and downs on those greens. It's very, very tough, just very tough around the green, really. But anyway, we're about to go to East Devon, do a little bit of practice. Tomorrow's going to be a full day of practice. I've been working on my dad this morning, helping him do up the flat, still paying off my debt from the holiday. One thing I also want to invest in soon is Golf Data Lab. I really want to start getting a really good in-depth look at my game all round and see what's struggling, because sometimes I come off a round at a golf tournament and I feel like one part of my game is struggling, and I find out that's actually average and it was a completely different part. I just need to be a lot more analytical about which part of my game is struggling and which part of my game is my strength. And yeah, I just need a better all-round look. It's 70 quid a year, so it's £70 for the year, so I kind of need to save up a little bit for it over the next week or so before I get it. But that's something which I'm going to be talking through on the video as well. So let's get going. So that one question I kind of wanted to answer, is there added pressure from YouTube or not? And to a certain extent, there is. But I had this earlier in the year when I played my first tournament at Liphook. It was my first tournament whilst I was doing YouTube and actually playing golf. And building up to it, I felt like, yeah, I want to perform. I want to perform for you guys, like I want to perform for my family. So there is like a kind of added pressure as such. But as soon as I stood on the first tee, all of that just kind of disappeared. Like, it didn't even come into my head for the entire round after I teed off. So it definitely doesn't affect my golf one bit. Like, out on the golf course, that is not an outside influence which plays a part in my head. Not at all. But yeah, it was an interesting question. Just someone asked it in the comment section the other day. Yeah, that was on my mind as well when I first started doing YouTube and playing tournaments. I was thinking, you know, is it really going to affect me? And it didn't at all. So yeah. Starting off again today, little warm-up session on the range. Not going to hit too many balls, probably just about 50. And then head off to East Devon, do par 18 and go and play a few holes. Good little rain session again. Sorry I didn't really film much of it, but I've just gone to American Golf and decided I'm going to try this. I've never used a line me up in my life. I've never put a line on my ball. I've never been one to try it. I haven't even really thought about it that much. I knew a lot of people do it, and there's an increasing number of players on tour using it. So I thought, it can't do me any harm. I'm going to give it a go. I'll trial it for a couple months and see if I like it, or if I feel like it sort of distracts me from my routine. Let's just give it a go and see what happens. It can't really do me any harm, and if it saves me half a shot, then I'm all the better for it. I'm about to go and do par 18, and then we're going to go out on the golf course and just play a few holes. I'm not going to play too many holes. It's like 6:30, so I want to get home, have some good rest tonight, and then I'm going to go out and play 18 holes tomorrow and go gym in the evening as well. I'm going to take you guys along with that. So let's go.
Morning, y'all.
So before I get to today's par 18, I'm going to go around using 5 golf balls, just chipping from different locations, mainly with my 58. I may do a few shots on my 54 and 50. So yeah. So if you look at those bunker shots there compared to probably last time I did like par 18 or something, you'll notice how much more height I'm trying to keep through the shot, whereas before I was sort of dipping down into it at least a couple of inches. So it's one thing I'm working on at the moment, both with bunker shots and pitch shots. I hit 4 chip shots for you here, and you can kind of see how that's changed. Yes, it feels a lot better, but obviously I'm still consciously making that change. It's not like I've done it for a couple of days and now I do it every time. I'm still consciously having to get that feeling, but it looks 100 times better than it was. So I'm going to do par 18, just a quick explanation of what par 18 is and how it works, because I know last time I got a few people who commented who said I should have gone into a little bit more detail with it. So you do 3 easy holes, 3 medium and 3 hard, and obviously each hole is a par 2 because you're trying to get up and down. So a perfect round would be 18 shots. You get up and down every time. To be better than perfect, you know, you'd have to hold a chip shot and make up and down the rest of the time. So to score better than 18, which is better than perfect, I mean, it's very, very hard to do. To shoot 17 or less, you'd have to hold one chip shot and make up and down on the rest of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through, instead of filming all 3 easy, 3 medium, 3 hard, I'm going to film one hole of each difficulty. So I'm going to film 1 easy, 1 medium, 1 hard. Also another thing, the goal of par 18 is to really replicate what you're doing on the course. And when you've got a good score going and you're trying to beat your last one, and say you have a putt on the last hole to beat, let's say my last score of 21, if I had a putt to hold 20, you're feeling a certain amount of pressure and nerves. Obviously a minuscule amount compared to what you'd feel in a proper tournament, but it's still replicating those feelings. So you want to do your pre-shot routine on every shot, mark your ball, line your ball up, whatever you do on the golf course, to replicate that situation. That's the whole point of it. So it's a really good test of golf under sort of tournament circumstances. Obviously not tournament circumstances, but pretty much as close as you can get. And it's even better if you're also playing against someone. If you've got one of your mates to play it against, even better. Currently on my 8th hole, my second to last hole. I just hit this from over there, which was, I think it's 65 yards. I bushnelled it. So this is one of the hard holes, and I've hit it really well, but just too well, and it's pitched here and somehow almost spun back on this slope. It hasn't even rained or anything today, so I've now got this to stay level. So I basically need to hold this to have a chance of shooting 18, which I've only ever done once. So this last hole I'm going to make quite hard, seeing as I'm playing quite well. I'm going to go up to this bit here, which is behind a bunker. It gives me about 6 yards of green to play with, or slopes down away from me. So quite a difficult shot to finish. And just like that, I've got to make up and down to beat my last score. That last putt is such a good example of how it recreates tournament like emotions and feelings and conditions. Obviously to not that extent, but I was feeling nervous over that putt. Like, I genuinely wanted to hold it. It's not like I've just gone around the chipping green hitting random chips and then cut it out for no reason. But I had a score to beat from last time and managed to do it. Scored 20 and that was at East Devon. I'm going to do it at a different venue next time. I'm going to probably do it either up at Woodbury, or I don't know, I'll do it somewhere different. Weather overcast.